Good after morning, my dudes. It is not Wednesday, but we found ourselves here on the most auspicious Thursday with actually a piece of content I've been wanting to do for a very long time, and now I'm finally getting underway because I've finally tested enough product that I can actually do top 10. So this is basically the Turbo Tortoise Tech Awards for the best mice that I've tested to date, is basically the idea. And I'm going to do this once a year, about September. I think is going to be a good time for it as we go into Comic-Con and Rage and all the specials and stuff roll out, so that you know exactly what to look at and can pick the mask that's perfect for you, and then you can buy it when it is on special. See, minerals. But now Evetech has a lot of masks. I mean, a lot, and then some more, and then a couple more masks. So what I'm going to do is basically give you the best mask, because it's me as well, it's not a top 10. It quickly evolved into a top 12. So I'm going to give you the best masks that I've used that I think are worth spending your money on. Price is not really going to factor into it as much as just the general feel and performance of the product. Got it? Let's go. Fist. So starting off at number 12 with an honorable mention, this is a Rosy 50 Ultralight. It's basically a Model A. It's literally exactly the same as a Model A. It's got the old 3389 in it, so it's got the exact same sensor as the first Model A. It's got the exact same buttons. It's 74 grams instead of 69. Nice. But instead of 69, it's 5 whole grams more. They just marketed it really badly. It's an incredibly good purchase at the price. And if you like an ambidextrous type design, if you've been looking at a Model A and you just don't want to spend $1,000, this is $600. At number 11, it's the ROG Gladius 3. The reason I put this in there is just because of this push fit design. I had a ROG Gladius 2 when I was working at Asus. I had access to one, and it's really not overrated. It does give your product an incredibly good lifetime to it. I just don't like the shape as much. I think these have a bit of a better build quality than the previous generations and stuff. I just don't like it outside of that as much as other mice. But starting off the top 10 at number 10, it's the MX518. It's Old Faithful. A lot of us from the back in the day started on this and kept using it for years and years and years. I actually have a Franken mouse, which is made up of 3 different versions of them. I gave a friend what was left of one of my old ones so that he could put that into the Franken mouse. And then I liked what he made so much, I actually paid him for it. He wouldn't give it to me. So I was like, what's your price? And I just paid him for it. And you'll see it around actually in the studio here and there. That's actually an original MX518 body. So it's got tiny little feet in each corner. So there's been huge updates obviously since then. The sensor's way better than it was. That sensor can actually skip out pretty damn quickly these days, if I'm honest. But yeah, it's got way more customization, way better. Like it's just everything that was good plus updates, which is kind of nice. At number 9, it's the Claw Grip User's Dream in the in-game gear XM1s. The XM1 and the XM1 are basically almost the same. There's small differences in them, but it's got the right pixel sensor you want to see. It's got K-hole switches instead of on-runs. They feel really good. Everything on this mouse impressed me. I did a full review on it. If you want to check it out, is there on the Evetech tube, but it's pretty damn good. Like I understand it is a bit niche with the design and the shape that they went for with that very far back hump, if I can get a side picture. So the hump is set really far back, but you see how far back the buttons go as well. It's definitely been made with the claw user in mind, with its shape and its setup. So if you are a claw user and that's what you like to do and you want to rake up on your mouse like that, this is going to be absolutely perfect for it. At number 8, we've got the Rival 3 Wireless. It's pretty much the best bang for buck mouse the whole country, the whole category over. No cap. It does 2.4 and it does Bluetooth, as well as running off one AA battery. That's why it doesn't feature higher, because you've got to add batteries, which is, you know, it's not the greatest. But if you're looking for something on a budget, I got a mate to buy one of these when they're at 600 Rand. He asked me, hey, I just need a quick cheap mouse to carry on gaming. What do I get? Said this. He hasn't gotten off of it yet because he's like, I don't actually need to. It just does everything that a premium mouse does. You just got to add batteries. At number 7, it's time to go glorious with the Model A. The reason that it's further back like this is just the battery life is not as good as the other mouse that I'm going to show you, the other wireless versions and stuff. The buttons and stuff are fine. The sensor as well, there is something uncanny about it, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it until I messaged another mate who's incredibly fussy, incredibly high tier FPS gamer in South Africa, and he was like, no, there is actually delay on the sensor. So I was like, that's why. After True Move, how could I not notice that? So yeah, I kind of didn't notice it for the first bit, but after a few days, it did kind of get to me, and the build quality as well is just not as good as the other brands. At number 6, it's the Model D, and without using too strong a language, I just got to say that the wired version is not where it's at. It's too front heavy. So what it feels like, have you ever seen a funny car in a drag race? The way it leans forward like this. That's the way Model D wired feels. It feels every time you pick it up to sweep, it does that on you. And I hate it. I hate it so much. Okay, it feels terrible. The build, the shape, everything were all fine. That wasn't really the issue. It was just the weight. But we're using the D wireless. I noticed they moved everything back. So they also noticed that. Yeah, well, I see you, Glorious. And they moved that PCB and that battery and everything further back so that it's way more central. And now it feels absolutely stunning. The wireless version of the Model D is definitely a top 10 mouse. Jumping into the top half at number 5, it's the mouse that I'm using literally right now. Here it is. Let me just drag my bungee across the table quickly. Here it is. It's the Sensei 10, and I still only put it at number 5 because it's not perfect. It's very heavy. It's a very old design, and it's kind of nice. You know, it's like they say, the iconic ambidextrous shape. It is very popular. It was one of the best-selling mice of all time, and the Sensei shape was definitely a huge thing for Steel Series. I kind of preferred the corner because it was slightly smaller, but once I got a hold of this thing and I used the sensor, whole new world. It changed my life. It changed my life overnight. TrueMove Pro is untouchable as far as sensor technology goes. So that's really why it features up here. If you like a bit of a bigger, heavier mouse, it's 90 gram. It's got control feet as well. They're not like ultra glides. They do tend to stick a little bit more into the mouse pad than some of the other options and stuff that are out there. Like I said, it is an older design, but if you're looking at like just at the sensor, that's why it gets into the top 5. Literally just off the sensor. At number 4, it's the Razer Viper. This Ultimate and all of the other wireds are good as well, as I would suggest you a Model O wired or wireless based on your preference. Unlike the D, which has that weight issue, all of these are basically exactly the same. They just vary in their function. So it's just whatever function level you want to get in at, whatever price point you want to get in at, from the base to the top. These are very, very good. They did get like an incredibly good performance from the sensor. It was almost perfect. There was a hair off of being 100% true tracking, but currently the only sensor that does that is the TrueMove. Time to cause some controversy at number 3 with the Logitech G Pro X Super Light. It's not just the sensor that put this further down. Logitech's wireless is not great. It generally has some of the worst performance among the major brands. Battery life is pretty good on this as well, having done extensive testing with the first G Pro and having tested this and a lot of mates buying it and a lot of different people having it. I understand it is very good and it deserves to be in a top 5 of any list. It definitely should be there. 63 grams. I mean, it's incredible, but every single bit of plastic, every single surface just feels like it's been given out to the lowest bidder. I had a G4A3 and I felt that was a lot better built than the newer versions of their product. All of the materials just feel bad to me. It doesn't feel good, like it doesn't feel solid. And when you're spending that kind of money, they really should be. Coming in at number 2, it's SteelSeries Aerox 5. Whether you're looking at the wired or the wireless, they're basically the same. I did the non-wireless, so it's got the same sort of sensor and battery life and everything, the TrueMove Air variant, which has slightly lower performance. Not that you will notice at 40G acceleration and 400 IPS, you're not going to be able to skip it out. The reason that this one isn't at the top of my list is just because of that front button over there. Build quality as well, honestly, could be a little bit better of SteelSeries, but this front button over here is just, it's kind of pointless. Unless you have banana fingers, you are not reaching that button. The switch button on top here was a nice touch to have, and it actually worked. Like it actually had, because of the length that they went with it, it was very usable, let's put it that way, is how it made me feel. If you're looking for an MMO variant of this mouse, same sort of suggestion, it will be good. It is a very, very good product, this new Aerox body and shape that they've got going over here. It's just that button that makes me go like, I don't really need it and I can't use it anyway. And finally, in the number 1 spot, it's the Prime Pro. This whole series is damn good. The Mini, okay, we won't talk about the Mini. Don't even look at the Mini, okay? Unless you have like absolutely tiny hands and you're not fussed about buttons, then don't even Like, you really don't have to look at it. We can pretend it doesn't exist. We can just pretend it's not even there. Sorry, Steel Series. That's the truth. The Prime Wireless, all of the Prime series are incredibly underrated to me. As far as performance goes, you cannot beat a Trimu. You just can't. They are exceptionally good. And you don't even have to take my word for it. I know a lot of South Africans. I know, it's fine. I never was the best CS player in the whole of South Africa. Fine. I don't know about FPS. Cool. That's what you want to say. Argue with Kaz. Go have the same argument with Kaz, because he will tell you that there is just nothing like it. From the moment I used it, I was like, hang on a tick. This is another thing. It's almost like just an extension of yourself. It doesn't ever skip. It never misses a beat. And this was the perfection of that, with the individual buttons that they've got going over there, individual from the body, the way they set it up. The scroll was improved quite a bit as well. It's basically the same as the Sensei, but the 310 series, we also will pretend that never happened. Those scrolls were like terrible. So they fixed that problem. They improved the thumb button positioning. They improved the shape. They gave it the slight ambidextrous type of thing. It's like a slightly narrower Sensei with that thing, and then much better weight. I mean, this is 80 gram with a full wireless battery life system, etc. in it. And 10 gram is where things get a bit noticeable. 5, I struggle. I actually struggle to notice the difference on the 5 gram difference between two products. But 10, it's like, oh, okay, this is now noticeably heavier, especially when you're on the pad. And when you have control feet, for instance, on a thing versus having the ultra glides and stuff that come on this. Like all of the Prime mouse, you can just pick a layer. They've got 4 different layers for you. Pick the one that you are comfortable with, and this will be the best gaming mouse you can buy. Anywho, that is all I have for you on gaming mouse. Once again, this is my perspective on the products that I've used. It's not going to be perfect. I'm not going to check every box perfectly, but if you picked one from this range that you like as a special season and stuff is coming up, then they are going to be good. You can buy any of these, and I can vouch for any of them that they will be a good product. Manufacturers that are watching this, brands that are looking at this video, because I know you're watching in the background over there, if you want to see your product up there, I can't suggest something I've never used. I'm never going to do that. So these are the suggestions that I want to make. Absolutely raw. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, hit us up with a like and subscribe, because I'm going to be doing keyboards next week, and I hope to see you there. Have a good one. Good afternoon, my dudes. It is not Wednesday, but it is a Thursday, because today is something that I've been building up to for a considerable amount of time.